The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. Law number 2 is the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence. The true measure of leadership is influence. Leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes from influence. And influence cannot be mandated. It has to be earned, and it's earned through time and through trust. You doing what you say you're going to do, you earning people's trust, you giving your time correctly, brings influence, which leads to leadership. There's 5 myths of leadership, and we see these in our life, and then we act these out in our own interaction with people. The number one that he lists is management. Just because someone manages people or manages things doesn't mean that they're necessarily a leader. Managers are great at keeping direction, but not necessarily at creating direction. So ask yourself the question, can you create positive change? Leaders have to. Managers struggle with this. Just because someone's a manager doesn't mean that they're a leader. Number 2 is entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are great at seeing opportunities, seizing opportunities. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily a leader. Many times you see entrepreneurs who get partnered with a leader, and that's how they grow their business. And so just because somebody's an entrepreneur doesn't mean they're a leader. Number 3 is knowledge. Just because someone has all the information and is very smart doesn't mean that they're a leader. Number 4 is pioneer. Just because someone gets there first doesn't mean that they're a leader. Just because they made it to the location before anyone else, just because they're a trendsetter doesn't mean that they're a leader. Remember, leaders are more concerned about who's coming with them than when they will get there. They're more concerned about who is coming behind them than finishing first. Number 5 is positional leadership, and that's one that we cling to most often because we have a title or because we have a position. We think that we're a leader. A position doesn't give you leadership. It might buy you some time, but it doesn't make you a leader. So what do we do with this? Look at the 5 myths of leadership. We all deal in different areas of our life. I'm married and have 3 children. Pastor of a church, volunteer some other locations. And in each of these, we can look and say, all right, am I leading by influence, or am I trying to lead by position or by management or pioneering, or however you want to look at it? We'll also look at what we do with other people that are leading us. Are we looking for people to lead us because of their position or because of their influence? And so we take this and we look at the 5 myths, we try to assess them in ourselves and the way we deal with other people that we're leading and in the way that people are leading us. Areas to develop your influence. Number 1 is character, who you are. The first place to lead is yourself. You cannot lead others till you can lead yourself. And so looking inward and focusing on you. Number 2 is relationships, who you know. Leaders build relationships. They develop relationships. They see people. We all know people that are, you could call them high profile, or you could say that they have power, prestige, position, however you want to word it. But yet when they talk to you, they make you feel special and like something's different, like you're the only one there. They build a relationship with you. They even check up on you. They follow up with you. You think this person must really like me because they keep in touch, or they know who I am, or they took the time to make me feel special and build that relationship. They're a leader. That's what leaders do. Leaders see people and build relationships. Number 3 is knowledge, what you know. It is important that you continue to learn and you continue to know things. Leaders are readers, what one man said, and so continuing to develop that knowledge. And number 4 is ability, what you can do. Continue to grow your skill set. Continue to increase in what you can do. There's an old proverb, he says in the book, he who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. And so if you look around, there's no one following you, then you're just on a walk. So what do we do with all this? Number 1 is review the myths. Go back through and look at your life and review the myths. So where do I need to change at? What are some of the myths that I've grown up with and I'm following? And what changes need to be made? Secondly is rate your leadership areas. Look at your character, your relationships. Look at your knowledge, your ability, and rate yourself. So how am I doing on this? Ask others to rate you. Look at the different categories and make choices, and then say, what do I need to do to improve or to change? And put some action steps in there on how do I change my level at relationships? How do I adjust this? and look at these and make changes. Then the third thing you can do, find somewhere that you can volunteer, that you have no position, you have no power. It could be a local school, it could be a sports organization, it could be a church, it could be a soup kitchen. Find some area that you can volunteer where you do not have a position, or you don't have a power, or your name may not necessarily matter, and begin to volunteer and learn how to lead people by influence. When you can lead people that are not required to listen to you, when you can lead people that are not being paid to listen to you, and you can influence them to create change, that's what real leadership is. So you can take that and really jump right into the pool and begin to develop this leadership is influenced by your ability to influence other people in that capacity. This is the second law of leadership in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell.